I know what you're thinking, Brian, where did you get that Henley? And I'm telling you, I got it from Walmart. I didn't get it from Walmart, but my girlfriend did. It's $10, and someone also complimented me on my Instagram live stream. So go to Walmart, tell them Brian sent you, and pick up a Henley. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in this video is pre-visualization, and I say that because I had this trip planned out to go along Route 66 to Litchfield, Illinois, and I know there was some spots along the way that I wanted to stop. So like I said in the last video, I got on Google Maps and was looking at different areas along the route that I wanted to stop off of and try to take some photos. And this is really important when you're shooting large format because the cost and the time that it goes into getting each photo, you want to make sure that you're not rushed or you're not losing light or anything like that. And I showed up to this place called Henry's Rabbit Farm, and I got there and I kind of knew how the layout was because I looked at photos before. So when I got there, I already had a couple photos planned and I knew where I wanted to place him. So those are all things that you can kind of pre-visualize before you go into taking your photo. And things are always going to happen that kind of throw you off your kind of plan going into it, because I did get there and I started talking to Rich, the owner of the rabbit farm, and we talked for around 30 to 45 minutes, and it kind of made me late for all my other photos. But you don't need to like pressure yourself, and you just kind of got to go with the flow, and we were having a good conversation. So I wasn't just going to be like, hey, I got to go catch sunset in Litchfield or anything like that. But I just had to work with what I had at the time, and it all worked out in the end. The other thing I wanted to talk about is not setting your expectations too high, because I had these grand plans to go along Route 66 and stop at every single place that I wanted to stop at. And like I said, I talked to Rich a little bit, and it kind of sent me back on my plans. But you got to look at the bright side, and you got to look at the fact that you got out, put yourself out there, and you're going to take pictures anyway. So don't look at the opportunities you missed, just look at the opportunities that you gained by going out and shooting. So while we're here with the Ektachrome photos, I kind of wanted to go over how I exposed for both of these photos that I took. The first one, I was using the app on my phone called Light Meter Pro, and I would just point it at the sky, point it at the ground, and then point it at the subject that I definitely wanted exposed for. That's the main thing that you want to do with Ektachrome, is meter for what you want exposed, and I wanted this exposed, so I took an average of all three of those because the sun was illuminating this whole scene, and I really wasn't worried about these shadows and these shadows over here. And this is what I got. You can see that I kind of bumped down the highlights a little bit, and I did boost the shadows, but you don't want to boost them too much because you will get like this digital noise. So I put it around right there, and it looks really good. I like the way that this shot turned out. I loved how Rich was here in the window, and you can really see how 4x5 shines with the sharpness on everything, and being able to see all the stickers and the details in the scene. For this one, he was positioned right behind this post over here, so you can see that he has the light shining here on his ear and then the light in front of him. So I did meter right here on his face, and it was 1/60th of a second, and then I metered back here and it was around 1/125th. So I knew that was going to be overexposed, but I really wasn't that concerned because there wasn't that much detail that I wanted back here. I liked how you could see the signs and stuff right here, Route 66, and that was just a bonus if that was going to be exposed, and it turned out pretty nice. I did bump these highlights down a little bit, and then I boosted the shadows, and I kind of stay away from pulling these all the way down and boosting these all the way up because it starts to look like HDR. It's not a very good look, so I keep those around middle on both, and you get a pretty good exposure. And I like the way that this turned out. The way that the 150 lens renders the out of focus parts of the image is wonderful, and I really like the separation that I got. The other thing I wanted to mention was finding your style, and I've been getting a lot of questions and comments about how you find your style, how you find subjects, what you really want to shoot, things like that. And I kind of learned over the course of my time shooting film that you're going to be drawn to a certain thing no matter what. So you need to embrace that and not try to imitate what you see as popular online, because those things are going to be popular because that photographer really honed in on their style and they put exactly what they want to shoot out there for the world to see. Imitation can only get you so far, and I think imitation is more of a learning tool, learning composition, light, color, things like that. And imitation's not really a growing tool. So you're not gonna grow from imitation. You're just gonna be stalled in imitating things that you see. So the best way to do that is really just hone in on what you're drawn to, because there's a reason that you're drawn to it. That's what you like, that's what your style is. And if you just imitate what others see, the people looking at your work aren't going to see your style, they're just going to see someone else. You also have to be self-critical about the photos that you're making. I got into a habit of thinking that because I took photos on film that they were automatically good photos because I took the time and the money to take 1 of 10 exposures on a certain thing or topic or subject. So I thought that was a good photo, and that's just not the case at all. So you need to be self-critical and really look at the photos that you're making. Make sure that you're taking the photo that you want to take, and not just because that it's on film or because, oh, I put so much time into this composition, so it must be a good photo. That's certainly not the case at all, because I've learned that even more with large format, because just because I take the time and the money and setting up everything for a large format photo, sometimes it falls flat, and that's okay. You're gonna learn something from it regardless. And I think a lot of people get into that thinking that, oh, I took this much time for a photo, so it's something that people want to see, or it's something that I want to post for the world to see. Sometimes it's going to fall flat and it's just not going to be a good photo, and that's okay. You can put that away, you can put it in the recycling bin, take it as a learning experience, and try to do better next time. So I have very strong opinions on certain things like courses and replying to comments on YouTube and sponsors and things like that. And I'm sure you guys know that by now, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk about it. But I just wanted to reiterate the fact that I have these strong opinions because, 1, I do believe in them, and 2, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I can't say one thing and do the other. So it holds me accountable. When I say that I hate when people don't reply to comments, I have to reply to every comment, or I'm a hypocrite. When I say that I hate people making subpar courses for $100 or $200, I mean that, and that's for me in the future. If I ever want to make a course, I'm not going to put out something that people can find on my earlier videos. It makes me accountable for my actions and accountable for everything that I do in online or social media. And I'm not saying that there's good or bad sponsors. I'm not saying that there's good or bad courses, but there's going to be courses that are actually worth the money and something that you can't find in a previous video. Things like Alex So's course. I paid $100 for that, and that was something that you could not find anywhere else. Nick Carver has an amazing course on metering. He goes 8 hours into metering film, and you can't find that anywhere else on his YouTube website or anything. So there's good, there's bad, but you just need to whittle down everything and try to find the good ones that are worth your time and your money, because that's the most important thing.